Angola's biggest opposition party has vowed to contest last week's election results. We saw the long-ruling MPLA win by a significant reduced majority. The August 24 election was the most hotly contested in the oil-rich country since its first multi-party vote in 1992. The opposition National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, Unita, said it does not recognize the result from the National Electoral Commission. It vowed to file a legal claim which will have the effect of suspending the declaration of the final results, the Party Secretary General Alvaro Chikwamanga Daniel said in a video recorded overnight. During the final phase of counting, the former rebel movement turned opposition party claims not to have been informed of the decision by the Electoral Commission to ratify the results and not to have received a copy of the tables of the final results. Candidates have 72 hours after the announcement of results to file a claim to the Constitutional Court contesting the ballot. 4 of the 16 Electoral Commission did not sign off on the final results, casting doubts about the process. This year's turnout dipped to less than half of the approximately 14.4 million registered voters. The National Movement for the Liberation of Azawad, which is one of the main armed groups operating in northern Mali, has reaffirmed its commitment to a merger of the armed groups of ex-rebels who signed a peace agreement in Bamako in 2015. The movement made the declaration at a meeting held in Kidal in the north of the country. In reality, the merger is a requirement of the current context. There was a first start with the organization of the movement. This is already a first step towards the unification of the movements so that they're even stronger, so that there is no contradiction between the movements that makes up the whole group. This latest move intends to bring a merger into a single unit with a common political objective. I believe that when these 3 movements unite as a single entity, this will give additional strength in all areas. This will improve us in areas of politics, especially in security matters, in our regions, and especially our people, who are always subjected to extrajudicial abuses by these extremist groups. This Congress comes days after announcement by the Malian authorities to integrate over 26,000 ex-rebels into the national army. The first ship carrying grain from Ukraine for people in the hungriest parts of the world has docked at the Horn of Africa port of Djibouti, as areas of East Africa are badly affected by deadly drought and conflict. Food security experts call it a drop in the bucket for the vast needs in the worst hit Horn of African countries of Somalia, Kenya and Ethiopia, the nations where this first shipment is going.
Food on the Brave Commander will feed 1.5 million people for 1 month in Ethiopia. So this makes a very big impact for those people who currently have nothing, and now WFP will be able to provide them with their basic needs.
The flow of grain from Ukraine for other hungry parts of the world is expected to continue, with another ship departing Tuesday for Yemen. The UN World Food Programme has said it is working on multiple ships.
We've seen a reduction of 15% in wheat prices globally since the Black Sea Initiative commenced. What we want to see is more food flowing. We need, from WFP's perspective, millions of tons in this region. In Ethiopia alone, 3/4 of everything that we used to distribute originated from Ukraine and Russia.
How any of the grain will reach Tigray is now in question, as humanitarian deliveries by road and air have been suspended amid the fight that sparked again last week between Tigray forces and Ethiopian ones. The UN has said 2.4 million in Tigray alone are severely food insecure, and that 20 million people across Ethiopia face hunger. The Malagasy President Andry Rajoelina on Monday made a diplomatic visit to France in a bid to strengthen bilateral ties. He was met by his counterpart Emmanuel Macron at the Élysée Palace. The visit intended to strengthen economic cooperation between Madagascar and France, with other issues like food security, ecology, and an energy transition being on the table for discussion. The empowerment of Malagasy citizens living in the south of the country, which is plagued by famine, was also on the agenda. The issue of the scattered island, whose return to Madagascar has been repeatedly demanded, was not mentioned. However, the two presidents did not address the issue of the two Frenchmen who were found guilty of trying to assassinate the president of Madagascar. The two men were sentenced to 10 and 20 years of hard labor respectively. The request to have this sentence overturned was rejected by the Malagasy Court of Appeal. The convicts include Paul Rafano-Harana, a Franco-Malagasy former advisor to the head of state, and Philippe Francois, an ex-colonel in the French army, who were arrested in July 2021. A total of 20 people have been implicated in this case. The International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC has sounded the alarm over the high number of children who are going missing. The committee published a report on the International Day of the Disappearance, warning that more than 25,000 minors are missing across the African continent. This represents 40% of the 64,000 cases of missing persons in Africa, according to the body. Among the issues leading to such disappearance including security, whereby the report showed that there are more than 35 armed conflicts across the continent. This has led to thousands of people, including children, to cross borders, the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea in search of safe places and a better life far from these conflicts. Such movements also carry great risk, and disappearance is at the top of the list according to the NGO. During their travels, children face a number of risks such as exploitation, violence, psychological distress, and disappearance. The body has more than 5,200 documented cases of unaccompanied children in Africa.